So Super Mario Maker 3 wasn't announced at Nintendo Direct this year, which is fine. There's always next year. But now since we gotta wait, that gives us more time to think of what we want in the game. And that's what this video is going to be. It's going to be everything that I want in Super Mario Maker 3. So this video is going to be broken down into 6 categories, and you can skip to all those categories in the timestamps below. Starting with 1 of 6, we're going to be starting with terrain, quicksand spouts, rotating platforms because they're in every new Super Mario Bros. Game, secret areas, it's just a given, one-way pipes, because why not? I mean, one-way pipes, it's easier than having a pipe up top your head you can never go back into again. It looks stupid. Launcher pipes, which would be great. Slippery donuts. These could be great for snow biomes, because we have that, so that would be great. Bubble pipes. What are those? They're in pretty much every NSMB game. And what they are, they appear mostly underwater levels. It's a pipe that blows a current, and it pushes you. It's cool. Sloped pipes. What's the point in this? Decorational purposes. Fences that appear in NSMB Wii and U, that appear in castles. You climb on them, you hit them to knock people off, and you can hit them to turn around to go to a different part of the map, which is cool. Those tiki head things that appear in NSMB U in the desert. Spinning stars that appear in NSMB U in the snow theme on level 1. Elongating mushrooms. In case you don't know what I mean, these things. There's a picture here, Pablo's gonna throw it up. Here's your picture. And the last one for this list is pipe connectors. These things that you see in every Mario game. Why? Because it looks better than using a pipe or just blocks. Blocks are ugly. On to our next category, we have items. Star coins. Duh. And along with those, they could add a completion challenge where you have to grab all 3 star coins in order to pass the level. More Yoshi colors. We have green and red, but red is kind of its own Yoshi. We want like blue, yellow. Come on, Nintendo, be more diverse. The 3-up moon. I don't remember if that already is in the game, but I'm pretty darn sure it's not. Invisible coins. Not technically invisible, but you see them in pretty much every NSMB game. They're the coins where there's a little outline, you walk past them, they turn into a coin. The timer item that you see in pretty much every 3D Mario game. I don't remember if they're in 3D World, but if they are, they're only in 3D World. So those would be nice. One that gives you 10 seconds and one that gives you 100. Baby Yoshi. All 3 variants, the glowy one, the bubble one, and the balloon one, because they're completely adorable, and they make the level's theme way more of a bop. Blue coins. Coins that pop up when you tap on the... Is that a spider? When you hit the P-switch, and collecting all of the coins will yield a power-up or a 1-up. Either way, it's cool. Fake blocks, or cursed blocks. The blocks that you see in Boo houses where you try to hit them, and they start spinning around, and they throw at you. The mini mushroom, because why not? Along with the mini mushroom, why not add the mini pipes for secret areas you can only access with that? The penguin suit, or the Cooligan suit. Probably the penguin suit. We'll call it the penguin suit that you see in NSMB, Wii, and U. The hammer suit from Super Mario Bros. 3. The mystery mushroom from Super Mario Maker 1. Come on, Nintendo, please give us our amiibo characters back. That's a better feature of Super Mario Maker 1. And I'm mad for getting rid of it. Yoshi wings. That only appear in Super Mario World, but they were cool. The Lucky Bell from Super Mario 3D World. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, I barely knew what it is until I accidentally figured out the feature. It's basically the bandana Tanuki suit from Super Mario 3D Land, and when you ground pound, it turns you into a stone statue. This might be a bit of a stretch, but the blue shell from NSMB DS. That was a cool power-up. It was a little overpowered, but still. How about that? The gold block from NSMB 2. Which is, I mean, sure, it's cool. It's just a block you wear in your hair that turns into gold coins, but it's an interesting power-up. And last but not least in this list, that godforsaken Ice Flower. Nintendo, you've gone through 2 Mario Maker games with 6 major updates, and you have the audacity to give us everything but the Ice Flower. Alright, on to the next category, enemies. The stone spike. It's basically the vertical spike, as I like to call it. It's just a spike that spits out stone, and it just throws it straight down. It's cool. They find them mostly in mountain levels, which you don't have that either. Charge and Chuck from Super Mario World. The Thwimp, which is the mini thwomp that goes back and forth. I think it's adorable. The Spiky Cheep Cheep. I call it the homing Cheep Cheep, because it homes in on you. Basically, like those red bullet bills. That's basically what it does. I call it homing Cheep Cheep. I'm sticking with that too. Cheap Chomp He would be cool. We technically have Cheap Chomp. We have the Porky Puffer in Super Mario 3D World. He acts as the Porky Puffer and the Cheap Chomp because he tries to eat you. But we only have him in Super Mario 3D World. Nintendo. Clamby. I think it was called Clamby, who appears on Super Mario Wii? Torpedo Ted. Because he's cool. Underwater Bills. The Bone Goomba from NSMB2. The Bone Piranha from NSMB2. The Bone Beetle from NSMBU. This is a lot of bone creatures, but we need them. Fire Bro. Before you get mad at me, yes, we have Fire Bro. He only exists in Super Mario 3D World. Nintendo, what is all this? The Ice Bro, the Sumo Bro, and maybe the Boss Battle Sumo Bro that appears on NSMBU. The Fuzzy, Grawl, Cooligan, Bramball, Bruiser, Eep Cheep. What's that? It's a golden Cheep Cheep. It's basically just a school of Cheep Cheep. Now, technically you could do this yourself, but I mean, we need more diversity in our Cheep Cheep race species. The Flame Chomp. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's basically a flying fireball that spits fire at you, and when it runs out of fire, he blows up. Flippers. Technically, he only appears on one level in NSMBU, and it's a secret level, which many people probably didn't find, but he's cool. He's like the Huckett Crab, but he throws snowballs at you. The Huckett Crab. Urchins. Mega Urchins. Waterling. Parabeetle, along with their giant counterparts. The Porky Puffer. Yes, we already have him. Not in the mainland games. I said this again. He's not there. We need Porky Puffer. The River Piranhas. Those standing piranhas that you see in those boss battle levels. This might be a bit of a stretch, but the Monty Mole tank from NSMBDS. He was the coolest boss battle ever. See, what we need is more diverse boss battles. In NSMBDS, every world has its own unique boss battle. Nowadays, we just have Koopalings. They're not bad, but they're kind of repetitive. So how about you give us all the boss battles, all the unique bosses from NSMBDS? They were cool. Add them, please. And last but not least on this list, Dry Bowser. He would be cool. He could either be a variant of Bowser or his own his own entire boss. I feel like what this Bowser could do differently, he could be more difficult than regular Bowser, and fire cannot hurt him. Which makes sense. Fire doesn't hurt any of the Bones characters in this game, so we might as well do it with Dry Bowser. On to the next category, we have Gizmos. Starting with the giant icicles that fall and form a platform, and they'll hurt you if you get crushed by it. I mean, that's pretty obvious. You should know that if you know how physics work. The countdown platforms from Super Mario World. These things, they go on for a certain amount of time runs out, they fall. If you're not fast enough, you fall too. The red coin rings from pretty much every NSMB game. They were cool. Pickup blocks from Super Mario Bros. 3. In case you don't know what those are, it's basically just bricks that you could pick up and chuck them. They're kind of cool, so why not? Spin coils. Those things that you stand on in airships, and they usually just spin. If you don't jump enough, you'll fall, because they're kind of cool, so why not? Giant items and enemies that appear in those giant jungle levels. I believe they're in both new Super Mario games. I believe they're in Super Mario Bros. Wii and U. So they were cool. And along with that, maybe the giant mushroom. Bit of a stretch, but why not? Stretch platforms. What are those? The things that appear, I believe, in Super Mario World and then Super Mario U. Basically, those little platforms that have eyes. They stretch in, out, up, down, or alternate. That would be cool. I guess we need more stuff like that. Those rotating gears that you see in pretty much every tower level. Now, technically, this is very similar to the spinning platforms. It's very similar to those rotating platforms from the terrain that I talked about. This could either be its own thing or a variation. I don't know. Swinging platforms that appear in the castles in NSMBU. I think it's more than that, but I don't know. Swinging chains and vines that you see in the mountain and the jungle. The vines that you swing on. Floating water bubbles that appear in pretty much every sky world. Because they were cool. You could hide enemies in there. You could put coins in there. They were cool. You could swim in them even. That's what I call floating water bubbles. The roulette item block. This thing that has a bunch of different items. Maybe the player could choose what goes in there. Falling meteors and fireballs, which appear in the volcano levels, which we also don't have. Because for some random reason, they don't want to give it to us. Screw platforms, the things that you spin on and they go down, up, left, or right. Message blocks from Super Mario World. Basically the block, you hit it with your head, hands, however Mario hits blocks, and a message pops out. Now technically I can understand why this is not in the game, because there are going to be some people that are going to do things that are probably not right with it. So if they ever add this, Nintendo's going to have some serious moderation with these things. spike pendulums and their giant counterparts, giant fire bars, hanging ropes from NSMB2, the boss door. Now this thing could be really cool because I've always wanted a boss door. Why? It's just a variant of a door, but it could be a one-way door. It leads to a boss room that it can maybe add. That would be really cool. Giant skewers, like this one you see in this level. Moving platforms, which appear in pretty much every single Mario game. You know, like here's an example right here of this one. The last thing on this list is triggers. This is a little bit confusing, so let me explain. Triggers, how about this? The easiest way to explain a trigger item is basically what will happen is a player will walk past a certain point. They would walk past it or do something. It triggers something to happen. It either opens up a new area, it opens a door, it spawns an item. Now the best way this could be used is put them inside of a boss battle or something. You put them inside of like Boom Boom or Bowser. Bowser dies and the level is completed. That would be a cool thing. On to the next category, course themes and styles. Starting with the beach, where its nighttime theme could be lots of waves. The volcano, where its nighttime theme could be lava waves. The mountains, where its nighttime theme could be a lot of fog. And when you spin, the fog goes away and comes back shortly. That would be a cool one. And then the tower, which is also something that should have been in the game a long time ago, but they chose not to add it. And for this nighttime theme, I couldn't think of anything, but then again, I just asked the questions, Nintendo does the work. Level combos. Now what does this mean? This one really excited me when I thought about it, because it would be really cool to combine two different level themes together. For example, you can have a sky in the desert, or an airship underwater. Possibilities are not endless, but there's a lot of them. The ability to add water or lava to any levels. I can see why this would not work in some cases, but that's not my idea. That's not my job to fix it. Their job is to fix it. Nintendo, they do the work. Imagine having lava in a beach. That would be sick. Or having water in a volcano. That's where it gets weird. Now on to game styles, which is still in the category of courses, but this is game themes or game styles. Starting with Super Mario Bros. 2, the USA version, of course. Wait, you expect that I was going to use the other version, the Lost Levels? New Super Mario Bros. DS. Now, granted, this is very close to Super Mario Bros. U, but I feel like it's just far back enough where it's not Super Mario Bros. U. And besides, it holds a very nostalgic value in everyone's hearts, mine included, so it would be cool to have this one. Super Mario All-Stars variants for all of the old 8-bit ones, because Super Mario All-Stars is great. These ones I consider to be a bit of a stretch, but these are 3D World variants and I only have two of them. Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario 64. On to our last category now, World Maker. Up first, all game styles for World Maker. What do I mean by that? Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Bros. U, all of the game styles. That would just be great. The ability to add more than just 4 levels per world. Now granted, yes, you can technically add 5 if you include the castle, but no Mario game only has 5 levels per world. Most of them have like 10. Now 10 is a lot. I would say up the limit maybe to like 6 or 7. Because I think 9 or 10 is definitely too much. I wouldn't want to go through the world and play 80 different levels. That's too much. More world styles. What do I mean by that? I mean, how about something like the beach or the mountain? You know what I just realized? Why do we have the volcano style for in the world if we don't have it in the real game? Then you guys think you were slick. It took until now to realize this. I'm gonna find you. Secret exits. Now I don't know whether that would include the ones from Super Mario World or all the NSMB ones. I think the NSMB ones are nice as well. Maybe they could have both. What would this do? This would either unlock another level or a cannon to launch you to a whole new world. Enemy blockades. Basically just those enemies that block your path. You have to fight them to get past it. The power-up mushroom house, because why not? That should already be in this game. Last but not least, star coins to unlock certain levels. Like a Super Mario 3D World, you need a certain amount of stars to unlock certain levels. Now they add star coins, they can have that to unlock. You need to have a certain amount of star coins to unlock specific levels. This makes the use for star coins a little bit more useful, because if you just have star coins in an endless challenge, no one's gonna grab them, unless of course it's a clear condition, which can make sense. And that about concludes everything I want for Super Mario Maker 3. If there's anything that I missed that you think would be cool, be sure to let me know in the comments. That's pretty much all I got for this video. All I have left to say is Nintendo better make Super Mario Maker 3 and add all the things that I said. Maybe more things that I forgot. That's pretty much it. Until next time. Want to see more? Like, subscribe. With that said, we're done. Goodbye.